case here today is John Deeper versus Amy Heard. Today we are playing the You Are the Judge demo, which I came across on Steam, and you play as a judge. That's basically it. It's like a life sim. Let's try it. Let's see what happens with me being a judge. I feel I need a notebook for this. Right is right, even if everyone is against it, and wrong is wrong, even if everyone is for it. In your youth years, there would be quite a lot of protests against the government in your country, and this case. I'm gonna say I used to participate in protests. You had to choose a university, and you made your choice. Law? You liked a girl named Mary in law school. Now it's time to share your feelings with her. You said you loved her. After college, you married Mary. I'm already stressed. As a result of your happy marriage with Mary, you have 2 sons. Mary told you you would be a great father. Thanks. After graduating from law school, you started working as a lawyer. You chose the field you specialize in. Criminal law. Although you had difficulty finding free time, you were happy to spend Sundays with your family. You would visit with your spouse and children every Sunday. The cinema. After practicing law for a long time, one of your best friends, Henry, encouraged you to take the judge's exams. After you brought the subject up to your wife, Mary, you saw her as a little worried. When you asked Mary about the reason for her anxiety, she says, "Is there something you want? Are you sure you won't neglect the children and me?" Ask the question, and you too. This will never be a problem for her and the children. Mary said that although she didn't fully address her concerns, she would support and always be there for you. A long-awaited day came. Henry, your wife Mary, and the children were waiting for the results to be announced. While waiting for the results... Excited? Henry comes to you and says, "I believe you've succeeded. From now on, a whole new life begins for you," he whispered. With the announcement of the results, you learned that your career as a judge had begun. Everyone in the house was in great joy. Mary looked a little thoughtful, but she couldn't help but rejoice. While you were excited about your first day of duty, you heard the horn of your driver coming from outside to take you to the office. After kissing Mary, you took your bag and set off to the office. Oh, I'm gonna pick the kind-eyed man. Hello, Your Honor. Welcome to your first day of duty. Oh, good God. There's already so many buttons. Legal battle begins between famous actors. The lawsuit which will be heard today in court reveals the legal battle between a famous male and female actor. The long-standing dispute between the parties will be attempted to be resolved in front of justice today. The anticipation of the decision that will determine the fate of these 2 celebrities who have millions of fans is felt nationwide. Is that what I get to do? Now, when I just read about, you know, 2 famous people getting pitted against each other in a courtroom, in my head I was thinking of a case. And I was like, I don't know when this game was being developed or anything. Would it have been that case? And it turns out that the case here today is John Deeper versus Amy Heard. Which is... Oh no. Nothing else to read about it, so I guess we go to the court. Here we've got lawyers to talk to. My client is a globally beloved and followed actor. In an article written by his ex-wife Amy Heard in a magazine, although not mentioning my client's name, it is clearly a reference to him. This situation has had a significantly negative impact on my client's career, therefore we are seeking compensation claim worth $20 million. My client asserts that the defendant referred to him in the article written in the magazine without explicitly stating his name in order to avoid any harm towards himself. Additionally, my client claims that he was the one who suffered the most damage during their relationship. Therefore, deny the allegations. Oh boy, there they are. Please choose a card before proceeding. This one. Oh, that's nice. The lawsuit begins. Let's just look at the file quickly, so we actually know what this case is. A famous couple who ended their marriage in the past have filed a lawsuit in court due to false accusations. John Deeper filed a lawsuit against his ex-wife for using defamatory statements against him in an article she wrote. He claims that the false accusations in the article written by Amy Heard have caused trouble in his acting career. So if we also look at the evidence that we've been given, magazine with quotes, "In a past relationship, I had a partner who used drugs, got drunk, and subjected me to physical violence." End quote. Next quote. I suspected that he was cheating on me with another woman. When he realised that I was investigating, he smashed a beer bottle on my head. Voice record. I want to strangle Amy Heard. She deserves it. The law in this case. If a person speaks insulting words, uses written or visual expressions containing defamatory content, or engages in insulting actions that offend the dignity of another person, they shall be deemed to have committed the offence of defamation. Let's talk to the plaintiff, John Deeper. Did you use drugs while you were with Amy Heard? Yes, I used it periodically. However, drug use never reached a level where I would resort to physical violence. Were the things written about you in the article in the magazine true? It is definitely not true. My career is known to everyone. I am a public figure. This is a text written solely to undermine my career. What do you have to say about the statement that emerged in the audio recordings? I sent it to a friend when I was very angry. I did not intend to actually do it in any way, and those who know me well know that I am not that kind of person. I quoted from a TV series there. Amy Heard. Let's talk to Amy Heard, shall we? Did you mean John Deeper in the article you wrote in the magazine? Yes. I also mentioned what I went through during my relationship with him. However, I did not mention his name. What happened here really happened to me. I was a victim of abuse in this relationship in the past. I want to emphasize that what happened is not a lie, it is the truth. In the statement you gave to the magazine, you mentioned that you were subjected to violence after using drugs and getting drunk. Do you have any evidence regarding this? I don't have any physical reports or evidence from that time. However, an examination was conducted by a forensic psychologist based on the testimony of witnesses, and it is stated in the sworn statement that I was a victim of abuse. Do you think that the article you published in the magazine, as stated in the plaintiff's testimony, directly harmed the plaintiff's career? I talked about my past experiences in this article and did not mention anyone's name. I think I can share any information as long as I do not use any identifying statement. I do wish they just spoke the answers back. That would be nicer, because it's a very quiet setting. You're just sitting here. But we'll talk to witness Dr. Rose Kuhn. How long did you do therapy with Amy Heard? We met for a total of 12 hours. What kind of diagnosis did you make during this process? I diagnosed Amy Heard with 2 types of personality disorders. Do you explain these diagnoses to us? Of course, Your Honor. I can state that Amy Heard has a psychiatric condition that causes problems with her feelings towards others and her multiple personalities. In addition, she has a condition of excessive emotionality and a desire for attention. And now we're talking to Dr. Carl Dway. How long did you have therapy sessions with Amy Heard? The total duration of our sessions was 36 hours. What kind of diagnoses did you make at the end of the therapy process? Amy Heard has been seriously subjected to psychological abuse. I cannot claim that this was directly done by John Deeper, but it is a fact that she has been subjected to such abuse. During this process, Amy Heard may have had to make difficult decisions. Okay. Finally, witness Dr. Lena Laura. What is your profession and your position in this case? I am a couples therapist. John Deeper and Amy Heard were my clients when they were married. Since you had the opportunity to meet with both of them, what can you tell us about the couple's situation at that time? The couple did not always have the same emotional state. I can say that during the time they consulted with me, they both emotionally abused each other. I tried to help them resolve this issue. I have no knowledge of physical violence. However, emotionally, especially in the last days of their relationship, it was challenging. For both of them. So that is kind of the end of the talking. So we kind of have to rule in John Deeper's favour here, because from what we've spoken to people, Amy herself admitting, yes, I did write these things about him specifically. Easy decision. Yes. All of that shocked noise. No penalties. No penalties. The next case. Government is requesting that you investigate the crime scene for the murder suspicion involved in your next lawsuit. Now this is where I might need on my notebook. I only have a minute to go around the crime scene. Okay, so door. Lady has been stabbed. Window open. E. There's broken window. Scattered cushions. Safe is there. Window's broken. Window got opened. Person is stabbed. Empty safe. So I'm guessing something's been stolen. I don't mean to just walk all over the crime scene, but I was just trying to... I have 1 minute to assess this. Talk to the lawyers. Defendant's lawyer. My client denies all charges. He claims that when he came home on the day of the incident, he heard a struggle between his roommate and a thief, and upon entering the room, he found his friend lying motionless on the floor. He also saw the thief fleeing through the window, dropping the knife in the process. My client has admitted to committing theft and has been convicted for it. However, he denies the accusation of murder. He claims that he is not the one who committed the murder, and points out that Eric Daly, who has another fingerprint on the murder weapon, the knife, is the one who committed the murder. Let's go to trial. And pick a card. First card. Oh! Okay. Well, that makes it slightly less daunting, doesn't it? A quick look at the evidence. Knife. Fingerprints of 2 individuals found on the knife. The safe in the room had its door open. It was empty inside. Broken window. The window of the room was broken, glass pieces were scattered around the room. Punishment for the offence of murder shall be determined based on the seriousness of the crime, the level of planning and intent, the status of the victim, the method of commission, and other relevant factors. The penalties may include imprisonment and in some cases even the death penalty. A 29-year-old man was found dead in his room. The person who reported the incident to the police around midnight was his closest friend who lived in the same house. When the police arrived, they reported that the safe in the room was open and empty. The knife that was used to kill the person was found under the window. 2 fingerprints were found on the knife, one belonging to the closest friend and the other belonging to a thief. A witness neighbour reported seeing someone jumping and running away from the window. So let's talk with plaintiff Marcos Marshall. What do you think was the reason for the defendant to commit the murder? I broke into the house to steal. Then John noticed me and we struggled. I never had a chance to take out the knife I had on me, which was always in my pocket. I heard a sound of a door opening and quickly pushed John to the ground and escaped through the window. At that moment, I realized the knife was not in my pocket anymore. I must have dropped it in the house, and I think Eric Daly used the knife to commit the murder because there were no fingerprints on the knife of the Nars. What did you take from the safe at the crime scene? I didn't have time to take anything from the house. I didn't even touch the safe. When I was running away from the house, the safe's lid was closed. Where did you leave John in the room after the struggle and fled? In front of the door. Did you sustain any injuries during the struggle when you fled the house? When I was leaving the house, I felt a pain in my arm, and when I checked it, there was a cut. I must have scraped it on something. He is saying that he left the guy in front of the door, never stabbed him, his knife fell out of his pocket, he went out the window, he never stole anything. When we spoke to the lawyers, they said that he had already agreed on the theft charges. Why was your fingerprint on the knife? I entered the room through the door and proceeded towards it upon hearing the sound of a struggle. At that moment, I saw someone attempting to escape through the window. John was lying on the floor. He dropped the knife while running away, and I took the knife to protect myself and John in case he returned. What would you like to say about the safe in the room? I saw that the mouth of the safe was wide open and the inside was empty as I approached John, trying to recover from the shock of the incident. What was John's condition when you saw him? John was lying motionless on the ground. It turned him over and saw the knife wound on his back. I checked if he was breathing and immediately called the police. The police officers investigating the incident recently mentioned in the report that you had a heated argument with John in the near past. What was the reason behind this argument? I owed money to some malicious people in the past. They demanded me to pay my debt as soon as possible. John also had around $10,000 of debt from the past. We had an argument about this debt, but it was not as big of a fight as it was thought. Witness Andy Roman. Can you describe what you saw at the time of the incident? I heard a shouting voice from the next door. Then I looked out the window and saw someone jumping out the window and quickly running away. Did you see a knife in the hand of the person who jumped out of the window? It was night time and the surroundings were quite dark, so I couldn't see much. Do you have anything else you want to tell? No, that's all I can say. Thanks, Andy. I'm believing the thief at this point. What can you tell us about the relationship between John and his closest friend? They've been living together in the same house for a few years. John valued him a lot. John and his closest friend often have fights. They had big fights in the past, but they also had frequent small fights. But they would always make up soon after. Do you have any information about what was in John's safe? I was planning to get married to John recently. Therefore, he was saving cash. The last time I knew, he had $9,000 in his safe. Is that all I have? He dropped the knife as he was escaping. Didn't have time to take anything from the house. He didn't even touch the safe. I don't remember if it was wide open. I don't know. I don't know who I believe. I just keep going back to the fact that I'm sure he admitted to being a thief, which is why I almost want to rule against him because he's lying to me. Like, why would he be agreeing to go to a different case? Why would he admit to the theft and then say he didn't do the murder, but then he's come in here and said he didn't take anything? Oh, God. I didn't get a penalty again, so that's fine. What letter did I get? Dear Judge, I would like to introduce myself to you. I'm a wealthy businessman in this country who uses my money for the good of the country. I'm highly respected by important figures in this country. Unfortunately, my son is unjustly accused in the case that will take place today. I have full confidence that you will take special care with this case and make the right decision, which is to declare my son innocent. Please accept this as a gift. No! You can't bribe me. My client tried to cross the street last Monday when the green light was on, but despite the cars having the red light, a vehicle hit him. Therefore, he is filing a complaint against the car owner. My client acknowledges that the car in question belongs to him. However, he denies being the one who was driving it on that day. He stated that he took off his jacket at a party he attended and the keys were in the jacket pocket. When he wanted to leave the party, he couldn't find his jacket and car. Thought one of his closest friends might have taken the car, so he went home. Ooh, there's actually an objection. My client objects to Eva Green, who is presented as a witness by the plaintiff. He states that Chris and Eva had been together in the past and had a bad breakup afterwards. I will not take her as a witness then, thank you. Last Monday evening, around 11:30 p.m, a car hit a pedestrian. The pedestrian is not in danger of dying, but will have to use a wheelchair for a long time. Rachel Brown is filing a complaint against the owner of the car for this reason, but the car owner claims he did not drive the car that day. The police who arrived at the scene reported that there was no one in the car. I denied. Oh, I think I did the wrong thing. I pressed the wrong button. I should have ticked it instead. Security camera evidence. The footage clearly shows that the vehicle did not stop while the traffic light was red and hit the pedestrian. Additionally, it is stated that the owner of the vehicle left the scene of the accident after getting out of the car, but his or her identity could not be determined. What's the law telling me? If a person intentionally uses their vehicle to cause harm to another person, or due to negligence or carelessness causes an accident resulting in someone's injury, they shall be deemed to have committed the offence of causing injury with a vehicle. This is Rachel Brown. It's the last thing you remember from the incident. It was in the evening. I wanted to cross the street, but then I heard a screeching sound. I barely remember the car, but then I woke up in the hospital. I have a chance to see the person who was driving the car. No, I could only see the headlights of the car. It was coming towards me very fast. And Chris Smith, can you describe what happened on the day of the incident? I attended a party hosted by my close friends. The car keys were in my jacket pocket. As it was too hot inside, I took off my jacket and put it on the seat. Since I'd been drinking, I called my designated driver to drive the car. What did you do when your designated driver arrived? I told him how my car was parked and asked him to find my jacket, but later he came to me and said that he couldn't find the jacket and the car was not in the spot where I told him it was. What did you do when you couldn't find the car and keys? The party I attended was with my close friends, so I thought one of them might have taken my jacket with the keys. I asked my designated driver to call a taxi, and then I took the taxi home. I didn't do anything different on the day of the incident. Now we've got Eva Green, who apparently had a bad breakup with Chris. Oh, she looks angry. Can you describe what you saw on the day of the incident? I was having a good time at the party, but I haven't been drinking alcohol for a long time, so I didn't drink that night either. Some of my friends who came to the party with me left early, so I was sitting alone. At one point, I saw Chris take his jacket from the top of the chair and go to a different room. I saw Chris go outside. Later, when I went outside to get some fresh air, I couldn't see Chris or his car. Is that all I have to go on? I guess as it's his car, we will find the defendant guilty. Is that the right decision? Tiring day at work, you arrived home. As you entered through the door, you saw your wife sitting sadly across from the fireplace in the large living room. Slowly approaching her. Richard, I didn't hear that you arrived. You appear quite sad. Why are you in this state? When I went to the park today to take a walk, all the other women around me took their children and left the park. You know very well the reason behind it. The decisions I make may not please everyone. You know that very well too. Yes, I know. This situation is having a very negative impact on the children. They can't make friends. How about we take the children and go away from here for a while? Maybe that's the most sensible option. You're right. It's probably fixed the family relationship bit, hasn't it? Yeah, look, everyone loves me again. Antique shop theft case. Says the punishment for the offence of theft shall be determined based on the value of the stolen property, whether the theft was a planned or spontaneous act, the method of commission, and other relevant factors. The penalties may include fines, imprisonment, or a combination of both. No evidence, which doesn't bode well. The plaintiff owns an antique shop and alleges that the defendant stole a painting from the store. The defendant denies the allegations. When the police went to the scene, they found fingerprints, but since it is a shop, this may not be of much significance. What would you say about the incident? Your Honour, I've been running an antique shop in the same location for many years. I know my customers, and they are usually the same people because the items I sell are quite expensive. Therefore, specific people come from that area to purchase them. On the day of the incident, I saw the defendant for the first time. That's why I watched him carefully as he was browsing the shop. He kept looking around, and especially at the cameras, which made me suspicious. However, because I was alone in the shop, I had to go to the back of the store to pack the vase he purchased. When I returned, I delivered the vase to him. After that, I went back to the storage area to put away some items, and when I returned, I noticed that the painting next to the counter was missing. Your Honour, there was a power outage in our neighbourhood a few days ago, and it caused the cameras to malfunction. Unfortunately, they weren't working on the day of the incident. Here, anyone else come in the shop while you were in the storage room? There wasn't much distance between the counter and the storage room. Okay. Ernest Tucker. What are your comments regarding the accusations attributed to you by the plaintiff? Ron and I recently moved to Sean Street and wanted to buy some items for my home. I visited the antique shop and bought a vase. Was all I did. I did not commit any theft. I deny this allegation made against me by the plaintiff. According to the plaintiff, you were constantly looking at the cameras. Your Honour, yes, I did look at the cameras. However, it was only for the purpose of checking the store security. I did not steal anything, nor did I have any intention of stealing. I deny this accusation. What did you do after you left the store? After leaving the store, I went back to my house, which is located on the same street. I didn't stop anywhere else. So we'll talk to Aiden. Your Honour, I work at the antique shop. I was not at the shop that morning because I had taken some time off. I was going to the shop in the afternoon. When I reached the beginning of the street after turning the corner, I saw someone quickly leaving in front of the store with a large black bag. I was still at the beginning of the street and they had their back turned, so I couldn't see their face. Could you introduce yourself, Alfie Gardner? I'm a cleaning staff working for the... So he's cleaning staff. Where were you on the day of the incident? On the day of the incident, my assigned workplace was Sean Street. I was cleaning at the end of the street. At that moment, I heard a noise. When I turned around, I saw someone had bumped into my trash can a little further down the street. They quickly walked away without stopping. I couldn't see their face, but I noticed the hair colour was blonde from under the hat, carrying a large bag in their hand. He ain't got blonde hair! That's what I'm saying. Betty Cooper, last witness. What's she got to say? I'm a real estate agent, Your Honor. I also rented the house that the defendant occupied. On the day of the incident, I realized that some documents of the defendant were missing. I came to his apartment to have the missing documents signed during lunchtime. When I rang the bell, there was no answer. I waited for a while, then Ernest Tucker arrived. He looked a little disheveled. I didn't stay long and just had him sign the papers and left. I mean, there's no evidence of— I have to find him innocent. There's no obvious evidence. The other guy said that he had blonde hair under his cap, so I'm— Defendant Ernest Tucker is innocent? I don't know if the sound effects are random. Okay, I got that wrong apparently. He didn't steal! I don't know. That's nowhere near enough evidence for me to actually work out if they did it or not, to be honest. So what can I say? So that's that. It was fun to try though. I wish there was more people actually talking to you rather than it just being silent, but it was still a good time. But that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you want to see any more, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!